Hello, friends, and welcome to a live episode of Hot Glue and Bobby Pins. I am Oh My Sophie.
And I'm April Gloria. Our podcast
And-
is basically about anything cosplay related. So we are both professional cosplayers. So we kind of want to get on and talk about, and my voice just cracked, that's really cool. We like to get on and talk about stuff that is going on in the cosplay community, just like different subjects. We have only been in formation since January of this year, so we are pretty new.
But, did you say information?
Did I?
Is that what you said? Yes, I don't know. I loved it though. If that's what you said,
I loved it. That's a grammatically correct term, but
I'm about it.
That's when we were birthed.
We were birthed
in January. So yeah, we are hoping to just kind of hang out with you guys a bit and take questions about us, about cosplay, about basically anything you want to talk about. Yes. So great. So I guess to get started, we should probably talk about just like do the rundown basics of each of us. Like say when you got in cosplay, what your like sort of niche is in the cosplay community, what kind of costumes you like to make, and things like that. Just
yes,
like, whatever little details you want to throw in as an intro, and then we can build questions off of those.
That sounds good. Facts.
Fun facts.
I started cosplay in 2009 for fun. I started making my costumes and I jumped to professional in like 2015-ish. I don't really think I have a niche. I kind of jump around, like I get obsessed with things. So like for a little bit, I'll be obsessed with video game cosplays. Like there was a period where I like only did Overwatch. And then I went into like an anime phase. And so it just kind of jumps around for me. I don't know how much that helps like my following because I'm a little all over the place, but I just love looking at cool designs.
Yes, agreed. Okay, so I'm April Gloria, and I started cosplaying in 2013. And let's see, I mostly do video game cosplay. A lot of Skyrim. Skyrim's my favorite game. I really love Critical Role, and I've been getting into Animal Crossing, and I have 2 Animal Crossing costumes in the wings. So I don't know how much. I know I guess I've just kind of decided that I'm going to cosplay whatever I want. I don't have because I used to be like, okay, I need to do this many comic costumes, this many like anime costumes, this many video game. Like I felt like I had to be really well rounded, which maybe that would help my branding. But I found that I'm happiest when I'm doing the costumes that I like doing. I do a couple it's nice when my interests align with things that are trending, like the Animal Crossing thing, but it's not I don't cosplay just to follow the trends, which that's cool if you do. I just don't. I just do what I want.
Yeah, same. If I do it just to follow the trends, I don't have as much like passion. So like if it's something that's trendy and I love it, great. Otherwise, we do have a question that adds on to that. So just talk about how we got started. So when did we decide to officially become like a professional cosplayer?
Okay.
For me, I don't know if I decided to. I was fortunate enough that a local company called Ishiko Comics kind of like found me and started giving me some gigs. I guess from there, I did kind of decide that I loved this so much that I wanted to pursue it. I didn't know if it would work out, but that was around 2015, 2016. I was like, I'm going to give this a real shot and see if it can be a thing. And it's a thing. That's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, oh crap, hold on a second. Sorry. Okay, I'm just really professional over here. I've been doing, let's see. So I started doing things that make money in cosplay around 2015. I was still working full-time. I left my full-time job in the summer of 2017. So I've been fully professional, like cosplay is my only job since the summer of 2017. So, but yeah, before that, like I had I did like the print store thing. I did a couple like convention jobs and stuff and did like little sponsorships here and there. But 2017 was when I started Patreon, and that kind of gave me the financial push to do it full time. to get like a full-time income, I guess you could say.
I feel like you did it the right way. I think we talked about this in a podcast. I quit a full-time job 2 times without any financial buffer to be like, I'm going to do this. And it didn't work. I had to go back to work. So then I learned to like take a deep breath and like, check where I am financially. I think doing anything artistic, professional can be very daunting. And sometimes you do have to go back. It's just the way it is. And then professional versus doing as a hobby. I would still, despite like making my income, I would say it's kind of no different. I mean, you have different obligations, I guess, but I still look at it as like my hobby so that I'm still having fun. I try not to think of it too much as like work. This is work. I'm doing work, which is hard when there's deadlines. But I feel like if you do that too much, you can really lose your passion for it. I certainly have been through that kind of burnout before. What about you, April?
I agree. I think the obligation is a really big thing that differentiates. Why is my voice cracking? It keeps cracking. I think I'm going through second puberty over here.
I love it.
But let's see. Yeah, so having obligations definitely changes things. It's definitely, for me, I guess it is quite different from just doing it as a hobby. Like when I don't have, like, I guess I just feel in my brain like, okay, I have to post about this on social media. I can't do this without taking pictures of it so I can post on social media. Like a lot of times, like I'll still catch myself just like getting in the zone and doing something, and then it's done, and I'm like, crap, I didn't take any work in progress photos. I was gonna film this, and I just didn't do it. Yep. And that's like stuff that I wouldn't have to think about if it was just a hobby. And I guess just like maintaining the pages online, like all this social media, like when it's a hobby, you can just post whenever you want. You don't have to worry about like, oh no, I'm becoming irrelevant.
Yeah, true.
I would post it in 2 weeks. You can't do that. So it is quite different than for me, I guess. It's still it is like what Sophie was saying. You gotta find a way to keep it fun and not just get sucked into like work all the time, or else you will definitely get burned out. And getting burned out when it's your job sucks.
Yeah.
Then you still have the obligation and the guilt of like not posting or doing stuff, but your brain is just fried. It's dead.
Yeah. 100. There was a short period in my like cosplay career where I was taking it way too seriously. I was like, I'm a professional and this is my job. So I need to be making like 50 new costumes a month and I have to do this and that. And my little brain like exploded. So kind of putting myself back in that mindset, like, well, this is a job. I'm trying to have fun and make it for me. And I would argue that since I kind of moved to that frame of mind, I've actually made more money in cosplay. I think because people can tell that I'm having fun again. Yeah. So I'm sharing that with them and I don't look like OTT all the time. But yes, thank you for your questions. You guys feel free to drop questions. Thank you for being here. I see something from Ash, but it's blank. Hi, Ash.
Hello.
Hello. Going back to, here we go. How do you get to professional and how did you start earning money from your craft? I think everybody's journey is a bit different. And in this day and age, I think the process to move into a professional space is a little bit different than it used to be. So again, for me, I was lucky enough in my local town, there was this little company and they just needed to pay some cosplayers to work at their booths. And I did that and I enjoyed that so much that I started pursuing it myself further. So it's very difficult, or it was for a long time in the Midwest, to like make any real money doing cosplay. So what I did is I built a media kit. And when I got started, I just started like reaching out to shows like, hey, I exist if you're interested. And over time that kind of built up and I built a following with it by going to those shows and doing panels and having a booth and connecting with people. And it just kind of started steamrolling from there. It is a job, though. I think people see professional and they're just excited to be a professional cosplayer. I will say that when I did go full-time cosplay, it was a shock. And I don't think people realize how much hard work it is. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. And it's definitely a lot different doing it now. Like, if someone were to decide now that they were going to be trying to go pro, it is a bit different from when we were. That was years ago, but I think the same principles can still be applied. You definitely build a media kit. Sophie has a lot of resources for media kits if you want. I have a media kit if you want to look at ours. then we would be more than happy to show you. Definitely get your name in front of as many shows as possible. The more shows you have your name in front of, the more chance you are at them getting you to their show. And then that's a big part of it, I think, is just getting your name out there. Because I don't know. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, there's also so many different ways you can be a professional cosplayer in this day and age. So like, I have a heavy focus on guesting. I like to be at shows. You can also just be, I mean, you can be a builder that makes beautiful stuff online and shares it with your fans almost strictly online. You can just be a cosplay model. There are performance artist cosplayers. Like, I think the types of avenues for professional cosplay continue splitting as more opportunities arise, for sure. Would you agree?
Yeah, I do. And you can also do commissions. You can do YouTube. Or you can do all of it. Like, it's really recommended. I recommend to try and get your, I'm really bad at these sort of metaphors, get your finger in as many pies as possible.
Yep. That's true.
So the more streams of income you have, the more chance you have to make enough money to have a livable income as a professional.
Yeah. That is so important. Like, you're never going to make all of your money on prints. Right. You're never going to make all of your money on, one thing. The more streams of, and that's true, I think, with anything in life, the more strings of income you have coming in, the more stable you're going to be, which is a lot to run. It becomes really hard work. And I think that people don't often see that side of it. Like, I'm streaming, doing YouTube videos, we're making cosplays, we're selling prints, we're going to shows, and the list goes on, especially when you add commissions into it.
And sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I was gonna, do you have any more for this question? It looks like Calypso sent us another one. Okay. So thank you, Calypso. Material. It's hard. Okay. I've managed to get a decent following and a material sponsorship. That's awesome. But it's hard to start making money. Yeah. I would argue that for the first 2 years I was professional, I was still spending more than I was making on costume. But I think that's true for most businesses. Usually the first year or two is like a loss, right?
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So I started doing money making ventures in cosplay in 2015. I think maybe it was early or late 2014, possibly. But that took like 2.5 years to get to a point to where I was comfortable leaving my full-time job. So it'll take a while. It's a long haul, and it's a lot of work to get there. But if you just keep going, then you should eventually, get to a point where you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe not leaving a full-time job, but at least making like a decent amount of income to where you can kind of, I don't know where I'm going with this, but you know what I mean.
Like cosplay begins paying for itself. That was the most exciting. The first time cosplay started paying for itself, I was like, I've made it. This is it.
Yeah.
To make like further income, and I would argue this is something April is like stellar about, whereas it took me a long time to figure it out, is money management becomes very important. Budgeting and managing your business money separate from, your regular money or whatever other money you're getting. As somebody who sucked at that for so long, that is a hard skill. If you're not naturally inclined to be money smart, financial literacy, I guess, it may be difficult for you like it was for me. So I recommend getting a buddy who knows what they're doing and being like, hey, I have questions, help. Oh, we have Alex says, oh my gosh, look at these amazing. Hello, friend.
We've got a local photo wizard in the chat here.
Yeah, you have to go gander her stuff if you don't know already, which I assume like everyone does at this point.
They should.
The Alex. They should.
Oh,
so here's a really good one from Shannon. I'm a plus size cosplayer. How does body image impact your choices in cosplay? A lot. I would so a few years ago, I started keto, also thanks to April. And before that, I was about 50, 60 pounds heavier than I am now. And I lacked self-confidence. So looking back, I realized the mistake I was making was I was like, oh, I can't wear this cosplay. I can't wear that cosplay. I can't do this. And it was like messing with my head. Whereas looking back now, even despite having lost the weight through keto, I wish I would have loved myself more in that moment and been more comfortable wearing cosplays I really wanted to, because I really think that my body image was reflecting onto the cosplays I was doing and to the people I was meeting. And I think people knew that I was inherently like insecure. So you can be anything you want to be, man. It doesn't matter what size, shape, or color you are. It's costume play. And I think that finding costumes that make you feel powerful and you feel good in is absolutely key, regardless of any of that other stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree. I guess I feel like we all have our own like little things that we talk about or like think about with our body image. I find myself slipping into the thing where I'm just like, man, my body shape isn't the same as this character, or like my face isn't the shape as whatever the character is. But I don't know. I agree with everything Sophie said. Basically, you just find something that makes you feel really good, and I think that'll reflect in the image that you project out. I think people are going to be able to tell.
Yeah, I would. So I thought that if I lost weight, I would feel better and have no insecurities. And that's not true. I have other insecurities. I think that it's important for us to remember, no matter what, that we all just feel bad about ourselves sometimes, and that shouldn't impact our ability to have fun if we love what we're doing. And also, no one should ever be awful to you about any of those things. And if anybody bullies anyone for anything like that, I will kill them. But that's a sidebar.
Yes. We will castrate you with a spork.
With a spork, yes. Cosplay is literally for everyone, bro. It's for fun. Costume play. We have another. I feel it can be hard to get your name out in the UK, as I think there's a lot of competition. I think a lot of countries are kind of like that, where cosplay is big. Like in the UK, it's as big as it is here in the US, right? So it feels very saturated. Branding and just being really tenacious is going to help with that a lot. So improving your skill constantly, making sure you're, like April said, putting your fingers in as many pies and putting your name in front of many people as possible really helps.
Yes, I agree. It's crazy, like how, I don't know how many people are involved in cosplay compared to back when we started. It's really nuts. Like, it's awesome, but it also does make you have to kind of pivot a little bit in your methods to kind of getting your name out there.
Evolving as any creative company in this day and age on social media, when that's is so important. Like, as soon as the quarantine hit and all of our physical shows were gone, we had a guest spot 3 days after we were supposed to be guesting at a show, and the quarantine hit. So not only did we lose money from that, but that's kind of like a place where we would have furthered our brand and our image and met new people and introduced them to our work. So we had to pivot quickly and figure out like things like this, like being present with you guys in the digital space. Always be looking for ways to evolve. We have lots of highs. Hello, everybody.
Hello. And then feel free to ask questions if you would like to. We love questions as long as they're, appropriate.
That's why we're here. Ash says, hi, Ash. Do you have advice for cosplayers who want to get more into guesting? Yes, but primarily, I just want to say first is that there is literally space for everyone to cosplay. There's 1,000 conventions every weekend. So when I see this question, I see a lot of people well, it's too saturated and there's not enough space. While it is saturated, there is enough space.
Yes.
What advice do you have for getting started, April?
I would probably echo what we were talking about before, is really amp up your media kit. Just make it the most awesome thing in the entire universe. Get that thing out to as many convention heads as possible. Go just search all the conventions in the areas that you want to guest at, where you feel comfortable traveling to, or all those other factors, and just email everyone. Just keep sending the emails, because they're not gonna reach out to you. Cons don't reach out to people anymore. Barely. I barely get any emails asking for guest spots. But I think because there's so many people clamoring for those spots, that they're gonna take the people that have already kind of made the first initial contact with them. So I would say do that, definitely. And also they're gonna probably look at your social media, I assume. So make sure your social medias are succinct and pleasant to look at, aesthetically pleasing, basically anything like that. Just make yourself look very presentable, very available, and I guess, I don't know, just throw yourselves at them.
Hello. Well, and I think it's important. I think a lot of people, their barrier is like, well, I don't have the following to be a guest. That's not a thing anymore.
Mm-mm.
I mean, obviously, numbers still matter. In some cases, I would argue much more with online like branding deals than with conventions, because again, we've made it easy for them. They don't have to go searching anymore. Every time they open up their email, there's 100 new cosplayers like, hey, I'd love to guest at your show. So in your media kit, obviously highlight your numbers. And I recommend highlighting your impressions, as they will be higher than your numbers and are more important. But make sure you showcase your work and what makes you special. What sets you apart? What panels do you do? What do you specialize in? What are you going to teach people? What are you offering the show? Because it is a job. When they hire you and they pay you, you're entering into a legal contract to do a job for them. So you can't just show up and be like, hello, I'm here.
Yeah. You can't show up with like nothing on your table. Just be like, all right, here I am. I'm going to sit here all week.
It's gonna sit, but I do, like April said, we have media kits. We're always happy to share. Shoot us an email or something, and we can help you build those, because there's no competition, bro. There's space for all of you.
I agree.
So, switching gears real quick a little bit, Jedimanda says, "What is our favorite convention lunch food?"
I love that
What
question.
is lunch?
I love that question. Oh, Sophie.
The worst, I know.
Oh, bless your heart. Just kidding.
April always has snacks. I love it when we're together. She always has a bag of snacks.
I can't exist without eating. I have to eat all the time. So I've gone through a few phases with convention lunches. When I was doing keto, I would bring my own like spinach salads in little containers, and I would bring like my lettuce and my ranch in a separate container, because you don't want that lettuce getting soggy. That's disgusting. So I would bring my lettuce, my ranch, and my little tuna pack or canned chicken, and I would mix it all up at the convention in the room. If we get we usually splurge on the host hotel, because that's the best thing ever. You can just walk right up to your room, eat your lunch in peace, and then you can go back down to the hotel or the con floor when you want to. So that was a good one for a little while. What do I do now? I don't remember what I brought. I always bring a whole bunch of stuff. Like I'll bring like these, they have these like epic meat bars they have, and there's one that's like bison and pork or something, or bison and bacon. It's really good. So I'll bring like meat bars, and I'll bring like bags of like little snacks. I think I used to bring mac and cheese, like Easy Macs, if we have a microwave, I guess. I'm trying to think of what other foods that I brought. I don't remember. I know we always used to bring like breakfast foods. Like I remember Amanda used to bring a bag of bacon. That was really good.
Bacon. Don't forget your tuna.
My tuna. Yes, my tuna.
I take Quest bars with me. I've been getting better. I used to never eat at conventions, and I don't know why. I was just the worst at that. But like, I've been getting better at taking Quest bars with me. And I think it was C2E2 last year. Yeah, Amanda had bacon in the morning, right? Yep. I felt so good that day. I was like, oh, she's on to something.
Yeah, you gotta have your good breakfast. That's important.
I gotta have my coffee or else. We've got lots of hellos. Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you for being here.
We love having questions about stuff, about cosplay, about us. Ask us what our favorite toilet paper brand is. Right now, it's any brand.
Anything you can get your hands on?
All right. Let's see. Oh, Sabrina. Hello, Sabrina.
Hello. What are we both currently working on?
Oh, boy. So I'm currently working on a couple things, because I can't just work on one thing as many times. I tell myself every time I'm going to do one costume start to finish, but it never happens. So my costume, the big costume that I'm working on is Keyleth from Critical Role. It's the version from the Legend of Vox Machina. No, the comic. It's the comic. Origins. Vox Machina Origins. I'm a true fan, everybody, I promise. So I'm making the outfit from that. And for those of you who don't know, she is a half-elf druid character in Critical Role, which is a Dungeons & Dragons live show. And I have come to a couple roadblocks with it, so I kind of put it down. And now I'm doing 2 Animal Crossing costumes. I'm doing Felicity, who's a cat, and I'm doing her in a 60s style. So I'm making like a 60s like tent dress looking thing with like a little bubble bob cut, and it's going to be real cute. And then the other one I'm doing is Sable from Animal Crossing, who's a hedgehog, and it's going to be very fun. I ordered most of that on Poshmark, but I just want something easy. So that's it. I'm working on a lot of stuff, Sophie.
You're trying like now I want to do an Animal Crossing cosplay. I haven't bought that game on purpose because I feel like it'll take up my life. But every time I see
for you,
like I need to.
I'll buy it for you.
No. So I'm actually working on Vex to go with April's Keyleth. I'm still waiting on some of the fabrics for that. In the meantime, I just finished Soren and I'm working on Pain from Final Fantasy X-2. And then I've injected a bunch of little characters, the artwork I saw online, because I also can't work on one thing at a time. I promised myself I will. I don't.
Alex is freaking out. Keyleth and Vex, come visit us when you can.
Yes. When we're free
again. But yes, sorry. Continue.
No, you're good. Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I don't know, some like bunch of little like anime characters. I don't know. We'll see what I actually get done.
Yay, that's always a fun thing to see.
Yes. So, we're missing a couple. I'm gonna hop around. Okay, so what is your favorite thing about attending conventions, and what is your least favorite aspect? Favorite thing, the people. I like to be around all the people and like fangirl with them. Least favorite thing is uncomfortable cosplays. I think like sometimes a like Vigar, I did my best to make it comfortable. But while I was in it on the show floor, it was wildly uncomfortable. And I think that just happens sometimes. And so I think that's the only thing I can really say is bad is like when you can get to a convention, you put on a costume you're excited about and it felt great at home. And then you're 30 minutes in and you're like, kill me.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Or like when it's uncomfortable and no one's like noticing you.
Yeah.
Like I know people are probably like, oh, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like it sucks when like no one seems to care about your costume and you worked really hard on it. So that sucks. Also, people trying to touch you sucks. Like, so don't go touching people.
I'm not going to let you pick me up ever. Don't.
Oh, no. Somebody tried to do that. Well, he like asked if he could pick me up or whatever. And then he got weird when I said no. So that was really weird.
How dare you, April?
Yeah. So my favorite thing I would have to say is seeing everybody. Even though I'm a classic introvert, I'm okay in my little cave over here. But I love seeing people at conventions. It's like some of the only time that I'm like that I can see certain people, a lot of people. And so I just kind of go like full extrovert that whole weekend until I'm done. And then I go up in my room and I don't see anybody the rest of the night. It's like I go. But then when I'm done, I am completely done and I'm up in the room.
Done. I kind of get that though. Like I love being around the people, but once we like get back to the room and it's done, I'm like, don't speak to me. Or like the Monday I get home, I'm like, if anybody even looks at me, I'll lose my mind.
I know, like it's fun. Like whenever we're all done and we just go sit up in the room and eat like Chinese food or whatever, we're just like, oh.
Chinese food. Yes. So let's see. Here we have, what was your most difficult piece or prop you've ever made?
Oh goodness. Ooh.
I would.
But
what is yours?
I don't know if I can show it because I think it's in a box somewhere. I was going to say my mantle from my Bastille Shan costume from Knights of the Old Republic. I might be able to pull it up on my phone so I can show people who haven't seen it. But it's like a big leather piece that goes down my like torso and then up around the shoulders, and it has a collar. And that thing was so hard. It was like a feat of engineering just trying to get all of the pieces together. Here, let me see. I can maybe put something up against the screen and show you what it looks like. Okay, here we go.
Yes, it's beautiful though.
Thank you. Yeah, but it was really hard. What about you, Sophie?
I think it was probably McCree's hand. So last year I did a McCree and I couldn't find a pattern anywhere. And it's so many little pieces. And I, to get it like on and on, there's just so much that went into it. And I had to I can't remember the cosplayer's name. I'm so sorry. But I found a tutorial that he had done. And then somebody else had like Pinterested it. So it wasn't complete. And so I kind of had to like fill in the blanks myself. And I think I remade it like 10 times before I was like, it's together, because I wanted all the fingers to move. So even though I don't really wear that cosplay anymore, but that piece is hung up on my prop wall behind us because it's like special to me because it's like I did the thing that because there was a point where I was like, I'm gonna scrap this whole cosplay. I quit, bro. I'm done. Done.
Okay, where am I? Oh, okay. So
lots of questions. Thank you.
How do I get the questions onto?
If you click over them, it should say show. Does it do that for you? This app that we're using, guys, StreamYard, is dope.
I think it's because you're hosting it.
Oh, okay. Which one did you want to click?
Well, I was going to click on Sabrina's. How do you keep yourselves motivated?
Oh, that's a fantastic one. I had missed that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
let's see. I don't really know sometimes. Sometimes it's a matter of making myself do it, and then sometimes it's a matter of taking a break until I feel it again. But sometimes what motivates me is playing the source material or like looking at the source material of the costume that I'm doing. Like I find that when I'm playing Skyrim, I get really motivated to make Skyrim costumes. When I'm like watching Critical Role, I get really motivated to work on my Critical Role costume, depending on what I'm working on. So for some reason, that has really helped in a way. Otherwise, I'm not really sure if I have like a set like method that I use to motivate myself. I think it's just kind of something that happens, which kind of sucks when you have to be productive for your job. Yeah. But yeah.
I would agree with a lot of that. A lot of it is like looking over, like, so Soren, I was building that at the same time I was building Vygar, and it kept getting pushed to the back burner. So then when Vygar was done, I kind of had trouble getting motivated to finish it. And besides like looking at some of the source material, it was kind of just like so I was excited for my next one, Pain. And I was trying in my mind to start on that one. And I was like, no, I have to stay motivated in this project. And honestly, a lot of it just came from sheer willpower, like forcing myself to sit down and saying, I will do 1 hour on this cosplay today, which usually turns into a few more because you get into a rhythm. Putting music on helps, and like podcast things to kind of distract my mind. So I'm not like, this is tedious and I'm annoyed. I would say it's been a lot more difficult during quarantine. I kind of thought all of this time would allow me to like powerhouse through costumes, whereas I would argue it's done the opposite. Like, yeah, total opposite.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It is hard.
That's so real. Also, I found that working on something small to like distract yourself from your big project will kind of help you get back into the other one, because if you have something that you complete and you're like, wow, I did this thing, I feel good because I made something, then it can kind of help me get the like motivation up to go back to the other one. Like with my Keyleth costume, I had a lot of trouble with she has like these diamond shapes in the fabric on her dress, and I am going to have to redo them because I did a horrible job and they look like crap. And so instead of sometimes I just have to let it sit in my brain for a little bit so then I can go back and redo it and think of a different method. So I made a like outfit from Skyrim real fast. It's like the outfit you start out in. It's this like trash sort of tunic and pants or whatever, but I got to do like all my little weathering stuff on it. And now I feel a little bit better and I feel a little bit more motivated to try and work on that Keyleth dress again, because that thing sucks.
Yeah, sometimes it is about stepping away. I feel that. Like I hated the jacket on Soren even after test running it, and I was like, whatever, I'm gonna quit it. But I just figured out what it was I wanted to change, gave myself a little break, and then forced myself to get back into it. Mm-hmm. Somebody said that audiobooks also great for motivating. Yes, mm-hmm. 1000%. We have a lot of really awesome questions. I see 2. I'm going to hop this one real quick because all I want to say about this is whatever, it's the same. Unless you're competing or teaching craftsmanship classes, buy your costumes if you want to. I think most professional builders still buy costumes. I found a Gwenpool cosplay for $35. It's not something I'm passionate about making. It's not something I'm excited to make, but I want to be that character. So I ordered it. I'm going to be Gwenpool. Excited. And now I have more time to work on the things I want to work on.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I saw a question that it was something about which Animal Crossing character you're making, but this kind of ties into it. I'm making doing Felicity, who's a cat, and I'm making her dress. But I'm also doing Sable, who she only wears an apron in the game, and so I'm going to add clothing underneath it. So I'm not just wearing an apron, but I found this artwork where she had a brown button-up shirt and like these khaki pants. And so I just went on Poshmark and I found like a brown shirt and khaki pants for that. So I'm going to make the apron, but I'm just going to, you know, buy the other elements of it. I've also bought costumes from friends too. I bought one of my Skyrim costumes from a friend who made it, but she was selling it. So I'm just like, you know, I think I better take this. I will give it a great home over here. So yeah, I am a big fan of buying costumes. I don't really want to make everything. Like there's certain things that I don't want to make of costumes. Like my Android 18 costume, that was all like bought stuff. I dyed the vest to like match the skirt or whatever, but I wasn't gonna make a denim jacket.
Yeah.
You know, like
more power if you want to,
great,
but yeah.
But I just didn't want to. So I'm not gonna let it stop me from doing the things that I want to do. I will buy it. There's no shame in buying.
Just be honest,
because it's less trouble for me.
Yeah, man. And it's sometimes a nice break for motivation. Like I'm going to stop working on something, buy something I love, shoot at it, boom, I'm ready to go again. But be honest. If you bought your costume, don't lie. People know.
That's not good form. Oh, Alex says she's leaving and coming over right now.
On her way. Come on, Alex. Speaking of Alex, what is the best and worst experiences we've had with a photographer? Oh, can I go first?
Yes, please.
Okay. So
I know you've got better stories than I do.
Oh,
you've got some.
I've had some doozies, but specifically a few years ago, I was just getting started and I was shooting a Harley Quinn and I decided to work with a new photographer locally. And you know what? It was fine. I took a friend. It was good. A little like uncomfortable because we didn't know each other. I found out that immediately after that shoot, he was going around telling people if I was 30 pounds lighter, I would look a lot better and do well in cosplay. And then when I confronted him about it, he was like, at least he was honest, I guess, but he was like, yeah, I mean, you've started losing the weight and you look better and I'll get rid of the photos we have and we can shoot again now that you're on your way to losing 30 pounds. And I was just like, die and I will tell everyone about you. Like everyone in the town is going to know what a trash human you are. Don't shoot with photographers who belittle you.
No. Zero tolerance. If a photographer makes you uncomfortable, says something rude, or tries to touch you, or tries to say, hey, I know we're shooting in a couple weeks, but if you send me a picture of your nude body, I can get a better idea of how to pose you. Report him.
Find a nude man photo online, like a public one, like on Google that is allowed to be posted, not something someone and send it to them. So they're very
a picture of your nude lipsticks.
yeah, there you go.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't know if I've had a bad experience with like actually shooting with somebody, but I've had to, at C2E2 this past year, I had to like escape from a photographer that was trying to get me to go like outside with him, like alone or whatever. Like I was sitting down and eating a scone and this person was like standing in front of me. Like I could see, I was wearing a jester costume and he was standing, I could see the legs in front of me. So I was just kind of like eating, ignoring him or whatever, because I'm just like, oh, yikes. I don't know.
Yikes.
I got a vibe from him and he like wouldn't leave. And so eventually he was like, excuse me. And I said, hello, how's it going? And he said, would you want to go do like a shoot or whatever? I'm a professional photographer. And he like shoved his phone in my face, showed me like some cosplay photos that he'd done. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And then he started getting kind of pushy with me. Like I was like, I'm eating and stuff. And he was like, well, it'll only take like 10 minutes or whatever. It's just like, we're going to go right outside or whatever. And I was like, oh no, I think I'm good. And then I saw someone that I had just been talking to a couple like minutes before that. I was like, you know, I gotta go meet a friend. And so I walked away and I was like, hey, help me escape, please. And
it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, no, it was really annoying. And then I saw him later on, like talking to a girl in like a sexy costume or whatever. Like I couldn't see, it was like really far away, and I couldn't like go like tell her to be like, hey, stop. But hopefully he didn't kidnap her or anything. But it was really weird. Like it's odd. Like if you're a photographer, like especially if you're a dude talking to a woman, like don't say, hey, come outside with me. Like it's unprofessional.
Yeah, we actually,
the way he was speaking was really unprofessional and weird. It was like really pushy and stuff. Ugh, so I think I don't know.
There appears to be quite a few of, and I think that's just a lack of lesson in etiquette too. Like,
Yeah.
no cosplayer is obligated to shoot with you.
No.
Just like all photographers aren't obligated to shoot with every cosplayer on the planet. As soon as you're weird or creepy with me, like, I'm done with you. I will remember your photography name and we are never going to shoot. Also,
Yeah.
yeah, why are you asking a woman to go outside? You just met her. And we
Yeah.
talked about this in the cosplay photography panel last night too. Actually, like Kevin, the director, was
Yeah.
saying like he likes to build a rapport before taking people off of con floors, and
Yeah.
that is why he's so respected. Like,
Mhm.
common sense.
I agree.
Concur.
All right.
Let's see. We have lots of awesome questions. Oh my gosh, thank you guys. Do you see one you want me to grab, April?
Sabrina says favorite Overwatch characters.
Oh yes, let me go to that.
After that one.
Man, so where are you? Okay, so I guess I can't put that up because I can't find it. But oh, here we go. Wait. Guys, I'm gonna get there, I promise. No, I'm not. Okay. So
everyone knows the question, it's all right.
Yeah. So favorite Overwatch characters. What about yours, April? I gotta think about it.
Mine is Mercy. She's my favorite. I started making a Mercy costume and I did not finish that costume. But yeah, she's my favorite. Really like her. I'm always the best when I'm like a healer. For some reason in shooting games, I like in Skyrim, I'm really great with bow and arrow and all that kind of stuff. But in Overwatch, I suck at it. The only thing that I'm really good at is being a healer. So I get to hold everyone together. But
healers are so important.
I like her as a character too. I like her designs. She has really cool outfits.
Yeah. I'm trash at Overwatch, so I don't even try to dabble. I tried for a little while in like the training area. Oh no, whatever reason.
I can help you.
Yeah, you have to teach me how. However, I do love the designs. Like I think that they do a stellar job on the character designs and skins. So McCree is one of my favorite. Mercy as well, mainly because of her hair. Like, oh girl, perfect hair.
That's the best.
Right, and that wig like looks good on everybody. Like she's such a versatile character. But yeah, I don't know. They're all pretty dope. Tracer's probably my favorite. I made a Tracer cosplay years ago. And I kind of
forgot about that.
Yeah, well, for a good reason. So I would like to redo a Tracer. That'd be
really cool.
Yeah.
I also like Eva too. I like playing her. Like because she's so different from me, I guess. Like she's just super cute and bubbly and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I really like her. I even have oh crap, my light's falling, but I have a little Diva mat thingy.
So,
okay.
Overwatch. Oh, here's a good one. What are your must-haves items for attending conventions? First off, let me just say,
I love that.
The chat is moving so fast. I've missed some questions, but I am going back up. So,
yes.
But yeah, what are some of your must-haves, April?
My must-haves, let's see. So I usually carry a bag to conventions. It's like, one of those drawstring backpacks, super easy. I usually keep my wallet, my badge, of course. I keep a spare lipstick or whatever, like makeup item. Like if I'm have body paint, then I'll bring a spare powder and brush. I'll do, let's see, what else? Like painkillers. That's a big one. Any other like meds that I need for the day will go in there. Snacks, of course, always have snacks. Slash lunch items, like I'll put like a protein bar or like something, like depending on when I think that I'm going to eat next, because that's how I live my life, depending on what I'm eating next.
I love
that. Sometimes I'll do like Band-Aids in case I get blisters from my shoes. Let's see, extra bobby pins, of course, always, like for wigs and stuff. A little mini hairspray sometimes. It depends on how big my bag is. Like sometimes it's not big enough for all that stuff. I like to be like, like the Mary Poppins bag where you just there's everything in there. But let's see, I'm trying to think of other things that I put in. Little tiny sewing kit sometimes. I don't always bring that on the con floor, but I definitely bring it to the convention, like a sewing kit with scissors, needle, thread, a fabric steamer. Usually somebody in our room brings a steamer for like getting wrinkles out of your costumes before you head out to the floor, because like usually the room has an iron, but steamer's a lot easier. You can just do it when your costume's hanging up. Oh goodness, what else?
I like to bring Mio because I like
Yeah.
flavor my water and get electrolytes. That's one of mine.
Stay hydrated, everybody. Oh, a water bottle. This at C2E2, I brought my reusable water bottle. Just filled it up. I think that's the basics. I think those are the basics.
I would echo that for
sure.
A
lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, I think you do have to kind of take a lot of stuff. I have it right here. So I got this from Walmart for $2, and I fill it up with as much as I can fit into it for like the right threads or paints for the costumes that weekend that I'm taking. I also, for anybody who deals with anxiety, I take this. So it's from Walmart. It's Nerve Tonic. It's amazing. So if you're on the show floor, you're feeling a little antsy, you pop it under your tongue. It's holistic and completely healthy.
Yep.
Yes.
I like that stuff. I like kratom powder. I always bring that to conventions. It's like my anxiety powder. Just like it all out. Gets me ready to talk to people. Let's see what else. I bring a coffee mug, and then I bring my preferred like sweeteners, and sometimes if we have a fridge, then I'll bring my little creamer thing. It just depends, because you never know like what you're gonna have in your room, and sometimes people don't want like the maids coming in, so then I have to like have all my stuff ready. C2E2, they have a coffee center. Oh my gosh, coffee shop downstairs. So
that's my favorite.
You just never know what you're gonna need, so I just bring it all.
Yeah, just as much as you physically can.
Yeah, so we have flying, then it's a little different, but driving, you can bring a lot more stuff.
Yeah, I would echo many of that. We do have about 14 minutes left, so we'll get some more questions in, as many as we can. I see a lot of awesome ones. Thank you for being here, friends. I didn't expect so many awesome questions.
Yeah. Well, Ash oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. I just want to touch on this real quick because I don't know about tutorials for stretchy fabrics, but having the walking foot on my treadmill on my sewing machine.
I didn't even touch that.
On my sewing machine changed my life. April, any advice for stretchy fabrics?
Stretchy materials, I would definitely recommend always use a zigzag stitch. That will help you a ton. Yes, the walking foot is
How
good.
Do you feel
I actually I've never used stretchy thread. I just use regular.
I'm not a fan of it. Sorry, sidebar.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, just use regular thread. Do a zigzag. Most like every machine has a zigzag stitch. That's really good. Make sure your pattern is like patterned for stretch fabrics, or you're gonna make it and it's gonna be weird. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else? I do like the walking foot. I actually keep the walking foot on my sewing machine all the time. It's really great for leather as well, for stuff that's sticky, vinyl, things like that.
Yeah. I don't know about tutorials specifically. I think you just have to YouTube. And
when I learned, there's a cosplayer named Wind of the Stars Cosplay. She was the person that I went to when I was making my first bodysuit. So she has a couple basic tutorials that you might want to look at. So
heck yeah. And did you say there was a question from Ash?
She said best Mio flavors.
Oh my gosh. Anything citrusy. So anything that I don't drink orange juice, and it's my favorite because of keto. So anything that emulates like citrusy, orange juicy flavors. Oh yes. Because all Mios also are sugar-free, which is dope.
Yeah. I like the mango ones. I think the one that I have is from Walmart, and it's like a mango pineapple or something like that.
Yeah.
Tropical flavors are my favorite.
Samesies.
So there's one from Alex. She says, how do you guys balance photo shoots and photo content through social media and Patreon and OnlyFans?
What is balance?
That is a good question. So I'm a really big fan of scheduling my content. I like to shoot like months and months ahead. And ideally, I like to edit them and post these, like schedule them out on Patreon and OnlyFans. So that's probably how I do that. Like I have basically photo shoots until maybe July is when I'll next have to do one. So that makes me really happy. It's a big time saver when you can do a whole bunch at once. Yeah, social media. Since Instagram kind of punishes you for posting too much nowadays, I just try and post every couple of days, once, twice a week now. Yeah. But I like to do the rows of 3, not the same set for the row of 3, but like same color scheme.
Yeah. I too started shooting ahead. I will say, if you're thinking about starting a Patreon or OnlyFans, I started off without backlogging content, and I mean, just panic button stress for a year and a half. Every weekend, you're like, I have to shoot, depending on what you're offering, I guess. But like April said, like backlogging. So I also have, I think, sets through to like July. So between then and now, I'll probably shoot like some of the new cosplays that I'm making, and you have more time to like focus on how that shoot is going to look, because you're not worried about, oh, I got to shoot like 20 other things. Yeah. So I would agree. I also schedule out my Patreon and OnlyFans now. Social media, man, kind of like April. It's so wild. I am punished on Instagram. I posted the last 3 days in a row, roughly, and I just actually took the post from yesterday down because it performed like no one saw it. It was so bad because I'm posting too often. So,
I see Calypso says Ash is my love. I made my own version of her. That's awesome. I forgot.
Yeah.
Ash is awesome. She's probably my second. I didn't forget about her, but I kind of forgot about her for a second.
So I have
pieces of a cosplay for her, but that's another one that I kind of put down and didn't pick back up again, but maybe I will.
I think you should.
Although I'm worthy now because I forgot.
Now we're getting, what can you do with hot glue and bobby pins when it comes to cosplay? Oh man, what can't you do with some hot glue and bobby pins?
I still use hot glue for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Bobby pins you can pick locks with if you want.
Big locks, yeah. Keeping that wig on. I have used bobby pins, obviously not entirely successfully, but when I've had like straps were too loose on a costume, so I needed to pull them together in the back, and I didn't have a hair tie, so I put a bunch of bobby pins, and you'd have to keep readjusting them like every 20 minutes, so it's super annoying, but I mean, maybe I could have hot glued them onto the fabric.
Possibly. I used hot glue to make my jester lollipop. I just like hot glued it all together.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I had Casey hold it and roll it as I glued it, and I burned his finger. So it's fun. Okay, so we have another one from Alex, or actually from Jedimanda. Oh, that one? Yes. What are your favorite? What are your favorite online cosplay supply websites?
Definitely for my foam, Stephen K. Smith or TNT cosplay. I'm very into Liquitex paints, but I pretty much get them in store, except for lately, because you got to order things online. I use Amazon a lot. I know that's not like a cosplay supply website, but boy, can you get a lot on there.
Well, another one I know that we both use that we've been talking about is Arda.
Oh, yes. I have spent so much money on Arda in the last month.
Yeah. Pose Wigs is another really good wig site. They have a lot of really nice like natural ones, and the company is owned by a cosplayer. So it's really
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's called Cat of All Trades, and she's really cool. Let's see, another one. I used to use I've used Spandex World a lot for my like weird colors of spandex. They have a lot of cool stuff. Fabric.com is good. SKS, TNT, Yaya Han Foam, or
Joann's, Michael's.
Let's see. Yeah, Michael's. I think I'm going to get one of those Alex Drawer dupes from Michael's.
One of the what?
You know those Alex Drawers from
IKEA? Yeah.
I really want those. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think about So Much Cosplay, SEW Much Cosplay has really nice foam. They also have different like materials, like bonding materials, and they have like foam that you can put inside of your like collars to make them stand up. That's a really good one.
Spoonfly for making fabrics.
Spoonflower?
Spoonflower, yeah, Spoonfly. Spoonflower.
Spoonflower, yeah, that's a really good one. They're kind of backed up right now, but
a lot of them are now. It's getting. April was lucky. I was lucky enough that she had black thread to let me borrow, because you can get black thread nowhere right now, like online or in person. It's crazy.
Nuts.
Cocoa. Okay, here's a good
them later.
This may be our last one. Maybe we'll get one more in, but we want to have time to do the outro. So what is your dream cosplay if time, money, skill, motivation was not a barrier?
I think skill and motivation are my biggest hindrances. A couple years ago, I wanted to make a Samus suit, the Phazon version, or how do you say it? It's like the black and silver big suit, but the way that I did it was super just not, I just didn't have the skill and I didn't know like how to engineer it. So maybe a Samus suit. One day, that's not one that I like want to make actively, I guess, but I like to think about it. So other than that, by the Nightingale armor from Skyrim, that probably is on my list if I decide that I want something that's going to be a super big project.
Yeah, that would be so dope though. Like see it complete. For me, it's always been Metal Gear Solid Raiden, his electronics. So like I would have to know about like, you know, electronics and putting all of that in, which is a barrier because it's kind of something like I know I could probably learn, but you know when you're like nervous to learn a new skill, like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know how to do that. But ideally, I would love to make his full suit where the face like moves off and on by itself with a click. That's always been my dream cosplay since like I knew cosplay existed. So I'm hoping one day to get there. Something I'm slowly working towards. So I think we do have time for one more. So what do we think about best tips for working in cosplay groups? Cosplay groups, I think, are notoriously difficult to get together.
Yes.
I would say one of the best, a lot of the successful, like getting everybody together in groups I have seen, everyone tends to work together on everyone's cosplays in terms of like helping them find the supplies or maybe sharing supplies, especially if you have a lot of different like skill levels in the group. It can be hard to have like a time frame that you're going to reach, right? Yeah. So I think I know Jackie Kraft had mentioned to me for her barbarian group she did for BlizzCon. She sent a lot of the materials to the other people in the group, the other cosplayers in the group, just to ensure they had what they needed. And I think that's really awesome, like concept, like kind of all working like a little village on all of the costumes.
Yeah. I know. I think that's a really good idea, especially if as a group you decided that you wanted everything to look exactly the same or like cohesive. I think that's a really cool idea. I guess, I don't know. I don't do a ton of groups anymore. I guess not that I don't want to, like I always want to, but it just hasn't really happened a lot. These days we do a lot of duos together. But I guess having a lot of communication with everyone in your group, just so you know everyone's happy with what they're doing or how things are turning out, is probably good, because I feel like I've heard of groups getting kind of drama with that kind of thing.
Yeah. Communication, man. I think that is key. It also, you know, it's like access to, like April said, like there, like now we know, like Paul here, a lot more cosplayers in town, but there was kind of a time where it was just us.
Yeah.
So we didn't really pursue any
stuff. So
yeah.
I didn't know anybody.
Groups are hard, man.
Yeah.
Difficult. Well, there's about, maybe we could answer one more quick one. Did we miss any?
Did we miss any? Let me see.
Or we could tell them about the new episode that's up, April.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Danica.
Is Danica here?
Hi. Yeah, you guys ever do any Skyrim cosplay?
No, what's that?
I don't know. April let me wear one of hers once, and that was the coolest.
I did let her wear it. She had to pay me $100 though.
in blood, like cash blood money.
Yeah.
That's a good point too, man. Sharing costumes, like I think that's one of the best things about our community.
Oh yeah.
Like, you want to wear my costume? Let me know. Just don't treat it wrong.
That's why I buy like my friends' old costumes that they're selling. I'm just like, hey, I'll wear that. I didn't have to do anything for it.
Yeah. You're modeling someone else's work. She said, oh damn, that's my favorite. So yeah, we have about 2.5 minutes left. So our new episode of Hot Glue and Bobby Pins did come out a couple days ago.
Yes, it's about cosplaying in quarantine. So it's a lot of fun. We're on Spotify and iTunes. I don't know what other platforms people actually use nowadays to listen to podcasts. I feel like those are the big two.
Yeah. And we both have some episodes on our YouTubes.
Yeah, YouTube as well. If you have the thing where you can exit out of YouTube and still listen, then YouTube will work as well. We usually do about one a month. It would be cool to start doing more, but for now, one a month is kind of where we're at.
Yeah, we need this quarantine thing to be over. I prefer them together.
Yeah, we did the last one remotely, and it was a little bit not as good, but the episode's still good. It's just
Yeah.
a little weird because I couldn't see her either. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like talking on the phone. We know how exciting talking on the phone is. Just kidding.
For real though, text me, please.
Yeah, just do the whole thing through text.
But yeah, please go follow our things. You can also find us on the socials. I am Oh My Sophie with 2 I's, no E,
Yep.
everywhere. April?
And I'm April Gloria everywhere except Instagram. Somebody took the username April Gloria, so I have to have an underscore in front of my name, like a pleb.
I'll fight them. We'll find them and fight them.
Yeah, but I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, all the social medias. We don't have a social media for the podcast. You have to talk directly to us. So sorry about that.
We're not running more social medias, bros. You'll be all right. It's fine. You know where to find us.
I can't even run my social media.
It's too much.
Let us know what kind of subjects you'd like us to cover on the podcast. We really like talking about stuff. We like talking about the cosplay community, things that we're going through. The last episode, we talk about our feelings a lot and our mental health. Yeah. So get ready.
I love that we talk so candidly. I think that's what I've heard a lot of people who have enjoyed our podcast so far is that it's nice to hear people just talk real candidly about who they are and where they're at and what they're doing.
Yeah. It's like our road trip conversations, but in real life. Like,
yeah. They're my favorite. One day we'll get to go on a road trip. Yeah. One day. I saw Amanda and Alex said, when are y'all visiting us? Break quarantine, won't tell anybody. Well, now this whole chat knows, but
we are never visiting you again. Definitely not within the next couple months.
No, that would be terrible.
I would hate to go to Kentucky and have an old fashioned made by Amanda. That would suck.
That sounds like the worst. Oh. All right, guys, we are a minute over. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Go listen to our podcast. Like April said, shoot us messages and let us know what you'd like us to talk about. And we love you guys. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks so much for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. We want to do it again.
And Toki-Kon's cosplay contest starts at 6 p.m. You guys need to watch that because there were so many awesome people in it from all over the world, which is really cool to see. Yes. So do it.
Online contests. Super fun.
All right. Goodbye, guys.
Bye, everybody.